right, welcome back, race fans. Today I'm going over one of my favorite topics. It's what's in my camera bag for 2024. Now, this year I got a new camera bag. This one is the Bezen Photo camera backpack. I got this on Amazon during Black Friday for, I don't know, 75 bucks, I think. It was actually super inexpensive to the point where I was like, oh, you know what? I'll try that. I'll try that. And I just got myself a little endorphin hit. Now, I got this with the camera that you're currently looking at. This is the ZV-1F. So far, I actually really love this little machine. This thing has been probably the thing that made video the easiest for me. And it's one of those pieces of kit that I'm like, I'm impressed. So that's a little bit about the camera, a little bit about the backpack. Let me show you what I'm taking into 2024. Now, I'm not upgrading my main photo camera. I'm not upgrading my main video centric camera. I shoot hybrid, so I have cameras that kind of do both. And there's certain features that are more important to me and less important than others. This is the Bezen Photo Camera Backpack from Amazon. This sucker has been surprisingly good. Now, you can look at it and tell it takes a few cues from the Wondered Provoke. I believe this is a 22-liter bag, so it's like the Wondered Provoke 21-liter or 20-liter. It's very similar in several things other than just aesthetic. It's got sort of the same design with the top handle. This one's Velcro, rather than magnetic, which unfortunate because Velcro is annoying in that fashion, but the quality of the material is also probably not as good. Though it's not bad, but I feel like if you scraped this material, it's just going to stay scraped. I don't think it's going to, be as robust as the material on the Wandered. But I have to say, for 75 bucks, this is a killer backpack. Now, I'm not a beginner photographer or beginner videographer, and this has been one of those things I was like, it's not the best, but the quality is actually surprisingly good. So this is going to be sort of my shoot carry, what I take with me for big shoots. And I have a big shoot coming up soon where I'm going to be doing a bunch of dresses and one of my friends, and it's something I'm going to submit for another thing. I'll get into that later, but this is enough gear that I can successfully do the entire shoot. So let's check it out. So it's a pretty interesting, design. It opens from the back just like the Wandered. Got a couple zippers, got all these straps in the way, but you open it up, and I do love this. I love how it opens up completely to let you see what's inside. Now, I don't have a top-down camera, unfortunately. I just have the one. I'm not going through the hassle of setting all that up, but I will show you all the gear that's in here. Now, we're going to start off with my main camera body, which has been the same for the past 3.5 years. It is this. It is the Sony a7 III. Now, what I have on here, this massive bazooka of a lens, is the Samyang / Rokinon 135 f1.8. This has been probably the most groundbreaking portrait lens I've ever owned. It's been the one lens that I'm like, I think I'm going to carry that one forever. And that's exactly how I feel about it. It's replaced several lenses for me. It replaced my 85 1.8, and it replaced my Tamron 70 to 180. Now, the 85 I actually loved. The Tamron, it was a little sterile. It had no character, so I didn't really have trouble letting that one go. I was like, it's not what I want. This produces images the way that I see them. The way I shoot with primes is completely different too than the way I shoot with zoomed, which I think is why I wasn't attached to the Tamron. I felt like I was kind of half-assing it. Can I say that? Like, I felt like the Tamron, I was like, oh, I'll just zoom in and zoom out. Whereas with this, I feel like I purposely compose shots. So that's just a little bit on that one lens. It's my main lens. It is my favorite lens, and it is a beast. It's a huge lens. It's definitely not small. Next up, my secondary camera. And if you're a professional, if you're doing shoots, always carry 2 or more. My second camera is this guy. This is what I do most of my hybrid work with. It is the Sony a6600. 4K 30, basically all I'll ever need. If I need slow-mo, 1080 scaled up doesn't actually look that bad, so. But this is the a6600. I just have a small rig top plate cage thing. I don't know. It adds a couple other cold shoes. Really useful for vlogging or just run and gun shooting. It's honestly my favorite sort of hybrid camera. I used to use this until I got the ZV-1F for all my videos. And I think it's so solid that I'm like, if you get this, you're good to go for a few years. And that is the case. The autofocus is great. The color science, it's actually pretty good. I don't know. I've always heard people complain about it, and it took me a while to get used to it. but once you're used to it, you can make magic. So on it, I have the Sigma 16mm f1.4. This lens is top 3 of all time. I mean, I I say that and I feel that way because I would carry this lens through other systems. This is the lens that I want basically on my camera at all times. Now, I've thought about replacing this with like a Viltrox as a 13mm. I was like, oh, that sounds cool. They also have a 16mm for full frame that I thought about, but this lens is it's in that upper echelon. It's legendary. The image it creates, the image it helps you create is like, it's so solid that I was like, I can't do what I do without this lens. And on both of these, I forgot to mention, on both of these, I have filters. This one is a CPL, and behind that is just a step-up ring. But I have mist filters or diffusion filters on both. And I think this one's a quarter and this one's like a vintage. So I think like a quarter, but yellow. But some of my favorite looks out of these, they look great. Quarter mist looks fantastic. I actually have a quarter mist on now. So you're seeing some of this halation from these weird little lights. That's what it is. Then let's jump into the lenses. Let's start with the second lens. Now, I use the 135 for most of my work. The second lens I use an absolute ton if I just don't have the kind of distance and space I want to create. It's this guy. This is the Samyang or Rokinon, depending on your region, 50mm f1.4. Now, the 50mm is an insane lens. This thing has been one of my favorite lenses that I've ever used. I feel like I had a light just go out. At f1.4, you can get all sorts of separation. It's a decent length that you can just keep hustling. You can shoot and shoot and shoot. Perfect for portraits, perfect for weddings. Everything you need is in this lens right here. Next up, as we move down, this is a lens that I am less excited about, but unfortunately I need for a lot of my work. It is the Tamron 17-28 f2.8. I actually, truthfully, I don't like this lens. It's sterile, it's generic, it's boring. I use it when I'm shooting interiors or doing real estate. I mean, it keeps lines pretty straight. I don't have to do too much correction for that sort of thing, but it's dry. This lens is the pleated khaki pants of lenses. It's so boring. There's nothing exciting about this. The image quality, daggone near perfect. Like, it looks good for sure, but it is not exciting at all. There's nothing I shoot with this lens that I ever think, I'm like, oh, that's good. There's nothing I ever, I seek this lens out for. I literally use this for real estate, and that's about it. I never use this for portraiture, never use this for anything creative. It's just a tool, and that's all I really can say about it. And then the fun lens, the lens that, these are lenses I think, if you haven't checked them out, you really should. This is the Composer Pro 2 from Lensbaby, and in it, it has like a swappable optic system. The optic in it is called the Edge 35. Now, these lenses are pretty unique. As you can see, the shape isn't exactly straight, but the lenses can tilt. So you can kind of skew the plane of focus. You can get tilt effects. If you don't know what that is, I will include some examples at the end of the video. But this is a powerhouse for interesting compositions in portraiture. This lens has, honestly, it inspires me. Every time I use it, I'm like, whoa, that's really cool. Like, I'm shocked by it. Like, I know what it can do, but I use it and then I'm like, that turned out way cooler than I thought it would. I absolutely love this lens. I have a couple optics for it. Oh my gosh, I can't say enough good things about it. If you're looking for something to sort of change your game in portrait photography, this is it. Lensbaby has definitely got it. So this is definitely finding a spot in my bag permanently. This is staying. So all these other lenses can kind of produce similar images that kind of fit within the portraiture structure. This one creates images that are just imagination. They're imaginative, they're wild, they're fun. That's what I want, and that's what I'm chasing with that one. Now, in this slot here, right up front, I have this massive, if I can even get it out of here, this guy. It is a filter case by JJC. Got this on Amazon, I think it was 20 bucks. Can't beat that for a filter case. But in here, I keep all my special filters, everything that I could want to try for video, for audio, for video, for photos. I have, mist filters. I have streak filters. I have a couple other creative goodies. This one's going with me because a lot of times there's something, if you just want that one look, you're like, oh, if I had that sort of Michael Bay-esque, that anamorphic lens flare, yeah, I got it right here. I got it in a little packet from Amazon. So I'm pretty excited about that. And maybe I'll go through the filters I have in there later. But right now that just lives right here in the corner. And last but not least, my favorite microphone for 2023, it was this. It's the newer CM28. This little mic kit does everything. Now, I'm not using it currently. I'm using the Godox MoveLink 2, whole different thing. But this mic kit, it's got a place in my bag permanently because it works with everything I have, whereas not everything else does. I can use that with my phone. I can use that with, my GoPro, my DJI Osmo Action 4. I can use it with everything, and it's fantastic. And I got this thing for like $70, and it's crushing, absolutely crushing everything else I use it for. So it stays in my bag for sure. But anyway, that's some of the main kit that I'm going to use now. There's other things that I'm going to cycle in and out. For instance, I've got this guy here. He's going to make his way back into the kit. This is a Sigma 45mm 2.8. Very fun lens, kind of a weird focal length, weird aperture, but I'm cycling that back in. Here and there, I've got a couple other case filters that are going to be cycled in. And then I got this one lens that I purchased on a whim a couple of years ago, and I used it for 1 or 2 shoots, and then it sat on the shelf. So I'm cycling this bad boy. It's time to shine. It's time to get off the bench. It is this Brighton Star 50mm f/0.95. It is a manual focus lens, and it is hard to focus. It weighs an absolute ton, but the images it creates are otherworldly. If you've never shot a 0.95, I highly recommend you check it out. It is fun. It's absolute fun. Now, here's the thing I will say: get a 0.95 for full frame. If you're on crop sensor, don't even worry about it. Get the full frame one and adapt it or something. But where you want it is the full frame. It's a fantastic lens. Anyway, that's what's in my camera bag for 2024. Let me know what you guys are shooting. Peace.